morning, and thanks so much for joining us here on After GMS, just about 7:47 on your Thursday morning, October 29th. I'm Tracy McCain in studio with Megan Malaris. Taran Kirksey is in our Studio B, let's call it, and Stacey Spivey is working from home.
Yeah, we might as well call it the Severe Weather Center today, Taran. You're tracking the effects of what was Hurricane Zeta, now making its way as a tropical storm to our area.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It is still maintaining its strength as a tropical storm. As of the latest advisory, which came out at 5 a.m., we're expecting another one to pop up here over the next 15 minutes or so. The max sustained winds at that point still at 60 miles per hour. The thing I really want to point out, though, is the movement of this system. It's moving northeast at 39 miles per hour. That's fairly rare for a tropical system to move that fast. But since it is moving so fast, it's been able to maintain its tropical characteristics. And now as it moves on in, we're watching the rain move in as well. The heaviest of the rainfall is really going to be in the mountains and in the foothills. But we will still see about a ½ inch or so of rainfall here in the Triad, and so it'll rain for a while before it starts to wind down. I do think that this main core of rainfall will be out of here as we go through midday. You can see that on a Futurecast model. Right around lunchtime, it's really starting to dry us out. We may even see a few peaks of sunshine as well. But even after the rain starts to wind down, at least the consistent rainfall winds down, we'll still have a pretty strong wind gust. I do expect the winds to gust up to possibly 50 miles per hour from time to time through midday on through this afternoon. So the big window of opportunity for the main impactful weather, I'm going to say from basically right now through right around 4 p.m. with the rain tapering off by midday, but the winds continuing into the afternoon with those wind gusts at around 45 to 55 miles per hour and sustained winds between 25 to 35 miles per hour. With winds that strong, you can expect a few power outages at a minimum. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. And I can't totally rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm, especially as we go through this evening. But all in all, that appears to be a pretty low threat at this point. So a quick look at the 7-day forecast. The cold front moves through tonight, and we could see some cloud cover early in the morning, maybe a few sprinkles, but that will clear out pretty quickly, and we'll see a nice amount of sunshine Friday. Still a little bit breezy out there tomorrow with high temperatures in the low to mid 60s, and then the chillier air moves in just in time for Halloween with highs on Saturday in the 50s, lows Saturday night in the 30s and low 40s. And then a small chance of a shower or two Sunday before we see another round of chillier air just in time for Election Day. Election Day looks really nice around here. But in the meantime, we're really focused today on Tropical Storm Zeta. We'll keep you updated on that as we go through the day.
You know, today's forecast is like a really bad prank. You know, high temperatures in the 70s. It could be beautiful, but you got that rain and that wind. I'm looking at the Burlington sky camera right now, and that wind is taking those flags everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's really flapping there in the breeze, and it's been kind of a gradual increase in the wind. I was out there in the weather garden at 4:30 and 5 a.m. Not too much of a breeze, but by the time we ended the Good Morning show, you could really kind of hear the leaves that are left in the trees rustling a little bit. So that's just going to continue to pick up as we go through the day gradually.
Yeah, Taran, Bobby said it's already starting to rain in Danville, Virginia. We saw a question from Jen, who saw your map and that several counties were under that advisory, but she said she lives in Randolph County. Is that not part of this, or are all of our counties going to see some kind of severe weather?
All of our counties are going to have wind at the end of the day. We're all going to see wind gusts at a minimum in excess of 35 to 40, but some of us will see wind gusts in excess of 50, and that includes you all down there in Randolph County. So the wind's a bigger deal than the rain, and I know a lot of times, you know, we talk about the rain being the bigger deal by the time the tropical system reaches us, but that's because it's usually moving slower. You know, if you have a typical system that's moving at 15 miles per hour, Zeta would still be in Alabama somewhere, continuing to lose its the wind and holding on to the rainfall. But here it's been moving so fast, it still has its fairly decent wind field with it. You know, I'm trying to think back to another system that would be similar, if I'm not mistaken, probably Hurricane Hugo. I'm not expecting the winds to be that strong, but folks that are around here remember it made landfall in South Carolina, but it was really booking it, and it still was a hurricane when it was started to move into North Carolina. So, you know, a similar scenario as far as the speed of the system, but this one is much weaker. But 50 mile per hour winds could cause power outages, so keep that in mind.
All right, we're going to give you a break for just about 5 minutes, Taran. There are a whole lot of questions on our stream right now. We're going to get to those in a second, but let's go ahead and kind of break down what happened, what we saw first. It's Tropical Storm Zeta now, but it started as a hurricane slamming into Louisiana as a strong Category 2 storm. Taran mentioned it's moving fast, already heading here as a tropical storm with that heavy rain and those powerful winds.
Yeah, Stacey's been keeping an eye on social media this morning. She's going to be monitoring those questions. And Taran, I'm sure you'll be responding even to the questions that we don't get on air. But Stacey, you're also seeing this incredible footage, pictures and video from our journalists who are in the affected areas.
Yeah, seeing a lot of damage from those powerful winds that Taran was talking about, a lot of rain as well. But really, I think the biggest impact has been the winds putting or knocking down trees, which has knocked down power lines, and we've learned about a few deaths so far. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of those images. This is out of Cherokee County, which is just northwest of Atlanta, Georgia. Our sister station there reporting that a man was killed after a tree fell on his home in that county. And Atlanta firefighters are also working multiple calls this morning, including trees falling on homes. Our sister station reporting that in this case, the pictures right here that you're seeing on your screen, a man has been taken to the hospital with injuries, not serious, thankfully, after a tree fell on him in his bedroom and pinned him to the floor. And here's what the damage looks like in New Orleans this morning, where that storm made landfall last night. Dozens of boats and trailers destroyed. They were left along the highway there, and you can see that that storm really did some damage on them. And lastly, this is what the flood waters look like last night in Louisiana, and I'm sure we're going to get a better look at that damage as the sun comes up. But I mean, even to see that the damage in Atlanta and how bad it is there, that's not even where it made landfall. So it clearly shows how strong and how powerful and dangerous this storm is.
Powerful, dangerous, and headed our way. So, Taran, before we get to some of the questions, which you're already answering online, which is great, I think the biggest concern this morning and into the day is the wind.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, again, most of the time at this point in a tropical system's trek across a large chunk of land, by the time it reaches North Carolina, the rain is the biggest deal for us. But with this, the wind is going to be an issue. I think just about everybody sees wind gusts at a minimum in excess of 40 miles per hour. Occasionally, some spots will see winds that gust in excess of 55. As we go through the day. The winds are picking up right now, so we'll have to watch out for power outages. There have already been over 800,000 power outages in North Georgia from this system, and that was over the past about 3 hours or so because it's moving so fast. So hopefully we don't have any outages to that extent around here, but we'll have to just kind of wait and see.
Yeah, as we reported this morning, Duke Energy said it is prepared, it's ready to go. It has crews on standby, and then crews in other states like Florida and some of the Midwestern states ready to come our way as necessary. So we certainly do have the resources in place, it sounds like, which is good. But also a point of note here, some Triad school districts were concerned about buses on the roads today, and that's why some of the school districts that did have students back in their classrooms decided to just either learn remotely all day today or close schools. So we have the updated list of the cancellations and those changes on our website, WFMYnews2.com, as well as the athletic practices. We know Winston-Salem, Forsyth County students, those are canceled there. We have the full list, and it's being updated on WFMYnews2.com.
All right, so Stacey, you've been asking and monitoring the questions, and Taran is ready to answer and respond. Wish we could help you out here, buddy, but this is all you, your department. So Stacey, go ahead and fire away.
Well, Taran, there are a lot of specific questions, but I thought that this would be a good one. Kenny asked, will the wind stay strong, like 40 to 50 miles per hour until tomorrow?
I don't think it's going to be that strong as we go through tomorrow. As we go through the afternoon and the center of circulation continues to move away from us, our winds will start to come down some. We still probably have winds that gust over 20, maybe 25, maybe even up to 30 overnight, and then that'll come down just gradually as we go through the day tomorrow, although it'll still be a little bit breezy at times. I think that the main time frame for the winds that could gust in excess of 40 miles per hour, and I consider that significant, would be right now through 4 p.m. And so that's when we'll have to watch for the best chance of seeing power outages occur around here.
I know you said wind is the main threat, but also, I'm sorry, Stacey, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. Just having a lot of specific questions about each county, Tran, so I'll just let you answer that whenever we get to our headlines. But something that I wanted to point out that Megan actually brought up in this chat is about people all my neighbors have Halloween decorations, fall decorations out in their yards. So what is your advice to them, Tran, for that?
Bring them in now. Like, don't wait. Just go ahead and secure things around your house, because you don't want to have to go all the way down the street to your neighbor's house to try to pick up, some of your decorations that you put out. Just go ahead and secure them if you can. I know that's what I did yesterday at my house. I brought in some of the chairs on the front porch and kind of secured other things that we have around the house, so I don't have to spend my afternoon when I want to take a nap going around trying to, knock on doors and ask if I can go in neighbors' backyards to grab stuff. So just, on a serious note, just secure stuff around your house. Do it now.
Yeah, and it's not even to protect your own home, but it's to protect your neighbors' homes and potentially your home from whatever decorations are in your neighbor's yard, because when wind is blowing or howling at 45 to 55 miles per hour, anything can take off and fly into your house. And what will be covered and what won't? Well, that's a conversation for tomorrow.
Yeah, and Lisa brought up a point. We mentioned schools earlier, several districts deciding to go fully remote today if they weren't already due to COVID-19. But she said, if we lose power, obviously that's going to affect Wi-Fi and remote learning in general. So be mindful of potential changes from these school districts. Make sure you're following their Facebook pages as well. And again, keeping your phone charged right now is going to be key, because that's how you're going to get a lot of this information later in the day. Taran, we had a question about tornadoes, and I know some of this you've already addressed, but as folks jump on our feed, we're continuing to get these questions. You said it's a low threat of tornado.
Pretty low at this point. I was kind of looking at the setup earlier. I think that the threat of tornadoes is low compared to a lot of the systems that we've had recently. Can't ever say 0%, but it's fairly low. It almost seems as though the chance of an isolated tornado might be a little bit better as we go through the evening ahead of a cold front moving in, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. One of the X factors would be, okay, let's say the center passes by, the rain tapers off this afternoon, and we see some sunshine, but you still have that low pressure not too far away. Maybe that could impart a little bit of a circulation if a storm can get going, but all in all, I'm not real worried about the tornado threat at this point. You just need to stay weather aware. If something does pop up, of course, we'll be here watching it, and we will let you know.
I'm really liking this set. I might have selfish reasons for that, but I really, really like it.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, it's doing its purpose, and you're inside. You're not outside in the elements, which, I'm sure as a meteorologist, you love to see what's going on. You don't want to necessarily experience it every time.
Exactly. I can look at the camera there that we have in Burlington, and I can see it's windy outside.
Yes.
I don't mind being inside for this one for sure, so I'm not trying to battle with an umbrella because the rain is starting to move in as well. Rain, wind, and umbrella do not mix. No.
Well, welcome inside. We're happy to have you.
Taran, we're going to give you a few minutes to catch up on the feed here and respond to some questions we haven't gotten to yet. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some of our other news headlines today as we watch new reported cases of coronavirus in North Carolina increase. Cases are also spiking here in Guilford County. This week, more than 500 new cases were reported by county health leaders. Right now, 71 people are at Cone Hospital fighting the virus, and doctors there say they're concerned that with new cases and numbers this high, more people will end up in the hospital this holiday season.
A coronavirus outbreak at the Alamance Healthcare Center in Burlington is now the largest in the state. 33 patients currently have the virus, 119 have recovered, but sadly 9 have died. Facility management says the local community spread can contribute to nursing facility outbreaks. They encourage everyone to wear a mask as a way to help stop those outbreaks. Rockingham County election officials hope to reopen polling sites today. It closed one yesterday because of a number of coronavirus cases there. The county says 3 poll workers tested positive at the Salvation Army Community Center in Reedsville. Crews deep cleaned the building, and replacement poll workers will now staff the site. Officials stress no voters were at risk because of the safety precautions in place. 5 more days until Election Day. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden campaigning virtually Wednesday after voting in his home state of Delaware. Today he'll stop in Florida. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump continued to visit battleground states. Wednesday he held a rally in Arizona. Today he'll hold another rally in North Carolina, this time stopping in Fayetteville and speaking tonight at 6:30.
More than 3.8 million votes have been cast in North Carolina already this election. They include mail-in ballots and in-person early votes. 7.3 million people are registered to vote in North Carolina. You can vote early until this Saturday, the 31st, which is Halloween. And remember, you can also register to vote at any early voting site until Saturday as well. If you miss that, you can vote only at your assigned precinct on Election Day.
All right, here's the last look at your 7-day forecast. Of course, a very active day today. Then after that, the weather starts to improve. It'll be a little bit breezy still tomorrow, but not too bad, with lots of sunshine by afternoon and high temperatures in the 60s. And then we are a little even cooler for the weekend, 50s for highs on Saturday, low 60s at best on Sunday. Another cold front moves through Sunday, and then we can see a couple of mornings with frost, Monday morning and Tuesday morning. And Election Day is looking good, not only across our region, but really across a large chunk of the country. We're really not seeing any major weather systems, at least for the lower 48 at this point. We'll keep you updated on that. That's the last look at your 7-day forecast, but I'm going to do another Facebook Live with just weather stuff after we get done here. So if you didn't get your question in right now, feel free to jump on in a few minutes and we'll chat a little bit about weather.
I was going to say, it's never the last look.
No, weather just keeps going. It never ends.
There's always another
Exactly.
look.
And if it does ever end, then we're all in trouble. So we need the weather to keep doing weather things, even if it's just a sunny day.
Right.
Taran, remind us when hurricane season technically ends.
It officially ends at the end of November, but we've had tropical systems in December. We've had tropical systems in January before. Last time we had Zeta, I believe that it formed in late December and then went on into early January of 2006 at that point. So 2005 to 2006. So we can still see more, but as far as, and we've talked about this, something just kind of hitting us from the Atlantic, each time one of these cold fronts moves through, that lowers that chance. So fingers crossed we won't have to deal with that. We'll see though.
All right, we'll get through today and we'll worry about the cold temperatures and frost over the weekend.
There you go.
You know, we can always hold that off. All right, thanks for joining us on After GMS. If you have any more weather questions, again, Taran will be doing Facebook Lives and chats in just a few minutes, and then he can really go through those questions and get those details to you county by county. A lot of people having specific questions. So join him on Facebook Live in just a few minutes and join us tomorrow on the Good Morning Show.
See you later. Get out there and get to it.